So welcome to Crunch Fitness, and we're in Fort Myers right now, and this is the third Crunch Fitness. Yesterday where were we yesterday? Naples. We were in Naples, and the day before we were in Bonita Springs. Yes. And in Bonita Springs is where we're going to be doing our New World Practitioner course, which starts on Monday morning. That runs for 9 days, and then it'll be a day off, and then it'll go to the Wolfe Non-Surgical. And from there, I'll be doing Puerto Rico. From Puerto Rico, I'll do Ixtapa, and then I go and take some time off. And then I'm relocating my offices in Ixtapa during the Christmas time, and then we go on a world tour. So I'll be going all over the world. So we'll be setting up an office, and my office will be running. And then I'll bop into my office when I get close enough, but we're going to be in I think we're going to be in 5 different countries, and we're doing 12 different New World practitioners. Along with that, we're also going to be doing what's called the perfect pain-free pelvis. Now, understand something. Believe it or not, the pelvis is the holy grail for everyone, whether it's a man or a woman. The pelvis is something that, believe it or not, that corporations, the medical system, they don't even know it because they're all programmed to do it. You have to understand that there's the government, but there's a government inside the government, okay? And that would be the so-called psycho-rich, but then they're not the ones that are actually controlling the planet, which I'm not going to go into today because that would just blow everybody's brains. But the reality is that all they have to do is to get you to poison your pelvis, and everything is a domino effect from there. So most people don't believe it, but every one of you have some kind of a health condition or symptom. Every one of you. Because until you have total unconditional love and self-care for yourself and self-love, where you come first before your husband, before your wife, before your children, before the dog, before everyone else. Now, this doesn't mean that anybody else has to suffer, and that's the problem. You can program a human being, okay, to believe that if you come first, that's selfish, and it's not. You can program a human being that if you come first, that somebody's going to drown or somebody's going to get hurt or people aren't going to get what they want. But the reality is this: you've been programmed to never give what you need or what you want, because guess what? If you did, we would take back the planet from this evil entity that lives here. And you don't get that. And you don't get it, and I get it. You don't get it. Because you've never, ever really wanted to know. You didn't want to pull back the curtains. How many? Not one, not two, but many. You know, this group has been strategizing since the beginning of the planet. And that's why they own it. And understand something, there's an agreement. If you want to call it God, you believe in God, you call it source, you call it energy. But the reality is this evil entity will always have control of all finances down here. They'll make the majority of the population believe that poverty is the only thing that you're going to have, and you got to work yourself to death to have money. I don't work myself to death. I play with myself every day. I love myself. I enjoy my life. I enjoy it down here. I think this is the most fun-filled, exciting adventure of my life, and everything I do, I make it into an adventure. And I guarantee you that 9 out of 10 people sitting here today for this lecture, okay, you are so devoted to suffering. You believe that if you suffer enough on an emotional and physical level, all your dreams will come true. You believe that if you suffer enough, that he or she will love you. Okay, that your children will go, oh, Mommy, you're so much. You're just the greatest. Dad, you're so much. Oh, I love you so much, honey. You're just the greatest. That's never going to happen. That's just bullshit. And I'm sorry, but it is. I'm just tired of it all. And it's really, you know what, to even think like that. I don't even know what's wrong with us. I'll tell you what's wrong with us, whether you believe it or not. We are a piece of that which created the universe. I get that part. I'll buy into that, but I'm not buying into God created the human body. I'm not going to do it. Because God would never create a brain that is 90% subconscious, where it's just one big storage cabinet, where from 0 to 7, we get programmed, and everything that happens in our life, we're just this walking, talking, living sponge, and it doesn't matter if Daddy was beating Mommy, if he was disrespecting Mommy, if Mommy was stressed right out, and she said that money's hard to get, and love is hard to get, and life is hell. You take it all in. You have no filters. By the time you're 7 years old, you already have 70 to 90% of the prominent dominant programs that are going to run you until your grave. So from the womb to the tomb, you're programmed. And I'm not. And so I piss people off because guess what? I don't buy into your bullshit. The bullshit is the BS that they told us in all these books. Oh, this book's never been touched. No human being has ever played with this book. This is the rules. This was given to us. It came down from a mountain. Really? Isn't that something? Let me tell you something. The day that you get rid of all the rules, you get rid of all the laws, and you create only one law, unconditional love for yourself. And today it's called what? Say no more. Say no more. You should look at the stuff that you believe in. You actually still believe that your government can be fixed, that the medical system can be fixed, and that the relationships that you have in your life can be fixed. They're not going to be fixed. There'll be times when they get better, but they'll never be fixed because nothing's broken. Why don't you just mind your own business? Just give it a shot to unconditionally love yourself and find out how many people you murdered, how many people you hurt. You won't hurt anyone. You'll stop hurting people. Because guess what? Hurt people hurt people. And I see a few people that are hurting people in this room. Okay? Because all you have to do is look at anyone who gets emotionally hurt easily, and they're hurting everyone. They're hurting everyone. Oh, and guess what? You get so stubborn in your ways, right? Oh, it's been handed down from person to person, from family to family. Oh my God, the majority believes it. They buy into it. Well, guess what? Just because nobody's doing it doesn't make it wrong. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't make it right. I don't hardly eat like anyone. I don't hardly speak like anyone. But it just happens that I'm really having the best time more than almost anyone that I know. Money's so easy to make, and it's not because I lie, cheat, or steal. When you find your passion and you find your purpose, when you find your joy, that's when it's going to become easy. When you believe you've got to find a job, and then you've got to find someone to fill up your heart to make you feel like you're worthy, then you'll start to limp. And what's today called? From a limp to a cane, to a walker, to a wheelchair, to the nursing home, baby. And I'm going to tell you something right now. As long as you don't want to buy into unconditional love, you're going to lose pieces of yourself. How many surgeries have you had, everyone? The more surgeries you have, the less you love yourself, and I can prove it. If I had time to go one-on-one with you, I can prove the more surgeries you have and the more pieces that have been cut out of you, the more that you are willing to give up parts of yourself, because guess what? Because you're running a hate program and you don't even know it. Let me tell you something. You can't have rotten tissues unless you have rotten issues. That's the law. That's the law. You can't even have a bad hip, okay, and when you can stand on your own 2 feet. You're not going to be overweight when you know how to let go of luggage you shouldn't keep. You're going to be able to see clearly everything, okay? And you'll know when you can see clearly because your eyesight's going to be better. How many people know that I was wearing glasses when I was 8 years old? How many people know I was wearing glasses until I was 25? How many people know that I have perfect eyesight? How does that work? It's supposed to get worse, not better. How many people know that I'm in better shape than I was 10 years ago? How many people know that I have 25% more hair than I had 10 years ago? So what's going on here? So we're breaking all the rules, aren't we? Okay.
Tell them how old you are.
What?
Tell them how old you are.
How old am I?
How young you are.
I'm 66.
Because some people don't know.
I'm 66. And I've only begun. I will exhaust you just by you following me around. Understand something. I do not buy into any of your stories. All of your stories. Your religious stories, your stories about health and how the body works and how the body ages. Okay? I don't buy into that. I don't buy into any stories. I don't believe anything that anybody has to say anymore. Well, look at the majority of the population. How are they doing? Do you want statistics? Well, that's all you're going to get from a medical doctor. He's going to tell you if you've got stage 4 inflammation, which they call cancer, that you've got maybe 2 weeks to live or 2 months to live or 9 months to live, and they're absolutely right. Unless you're going to change your personality and break away from the herd. If you broke away from the herd and you did everything differently than the majority of the population that they said that was only going to have that long to live, you wouldn't live that long, you'd live longer. Well, if you're going to have moronic thoughts and you're going to eat low vibrational foods, have low vibrational thoughts, and forget that you were created by God Almighty and that you create everything about your life, and if you don't know how to stay in the present moment, you don't know how to stay connected to your breath, and if you don't know how to have a slight smile on your face, no matter what anybody says to you or what goes on, then you're not going to have it. You're not going to get to win it. That's it. That's it. You're not going to win. You're going to lose. Oh, I'm such a loser. And that they want you to say that too. And the reality is guess what? You're going to lose 9 out of 10 times, but guess what? It's that one win that means everything. So understand something. As soon as I perfect something, what do? I go out and screw up for a while. Because you have to screw up for a while because they got to practice. Remember something. Guess what? Do you know how they got everyone to take the diaper off their butt and put it on their face for 2 years? They repeated something so long, even though it was so stupid, it was asinine. That's where the diaper came from, the ass. And they put it on our face. And guess what? And then you went and you put this toxic thing on your face. And everyone in here probably put it on.
No.
I fought that thing like every time I could. And if I had to put it on, I would have it underneath my nose only because I had to get away or do something. But understand something. I am going to do whatever I do. And understand, I had the police at my door every week.
Canada got it really bad.
What?
Canada got it really bad.
Yeah. But I decided to move out of Canada before this even happened. So it all worked out all well. So, and you get what you deserve, Then the problem is Canada never ever had to stand up for itself. It got given everything. I mean, Canada has free health care. I mean, they don't. They have free emergency care. And that's why Canada's in an emergency situation, because they've never learned how to fight for anything. And I don't mean fight, because I don't fight. I stand up for myself and stand in my power. I don't need to fight. So you just say no. You say no. No, I'm not going to do it. I know what my rights are. And the problem is nobody knows their rights. Everybody's too lazy. And I'll tell you why they're too lazy, because they're not lazy, but they're tired. So I shouldn't have said that. I take it back. They're tired because of their mind, because their mind is a landmine. I mean, if you take a look at your thoughts, you'll understand why you're unhealthy. Unhealthy thoughts give an unhealthy body. When's the last time that you were sad, mad, or angry and you made a salad? When's the last time that you were sad, mad, or angry and you went and said, you went out and you ordered a salad? You didn't. You went and got a beer, you got a Coke, okay? Or you ate ice cream, okay? So the more mad you are, the more sicker you are, right? And it's all about vibration. Everything is about frequency. And that's why, guess what? When I come into a lecture, I protect myself, right? But I'm not going to let people come into my home that I have to protect myself. And I'm not talking about protecting physically. I'm talking, the most important protection you ever can do is on a frequency scale. I'm not going to hang around with people that talk about politics or talk about religion or fight about that stuff. Or I'm not going to talk to people who talk about what's wrong in the world. I'm going to be with people that I don't even want to hang around with people that tell me what's right in the world, because I want people to hang around with people that have an imagination. Okay, that don't turn their sandbox into a kitty litter like every adult almost I know. I'm not going to hang around with people like that. I'm not going to hang around with people that act old, okay, because, people that are young act old. I mean, people that are old could be young and vibrant. I'm going to be vibrant till the end. The problem is, if you compare, whatever your age is, you made a mistake if you compare yourself to anybody else your age. I don't compare myself to anyone. I am an authentic being, and that's the way I am, okay? You wait till you see what I do in the next year. There's no stopping me, and there is no stopping me. And understand something. People go, well, I'll pray for you, Dr. Wolfe, because of the way I talk, the way I walk, you're going to get in trouble. Let me tell you something. They're not after me. Didn't anybody notice that they feed on the sick? They feed on the weak? I talked about this the other day. This is a cement jungle. And these psychos, they feed off of people limping, emotionally and physically, yes or no? I mean, do you think they're going to be able to sell me drugs or alcohol, or sell me a vaping store, or get me to go into a corner store, or get me to watch Netflix all the time, or go to sports? I won't watch sports. I'm not going to do that. If I can't play the sport, I'm not going to watch it. Because if you're watching it, you're doing beer and tacos. I'm not going to do that. I got too much stuff to do. And understand something, everybody's sports crazy, especially in this area. It's like, whoa, dude, no. Okay, and every adult, their child is going to be the next big sports hero, right? What child needs that kind of pressure? That child to be limping so fast. You know, I trained somebody, and her name is Rami, and she lives in Texas. You know what she's busy doing? Fixing kids from 8 years old to their 20s. And you know what she's fixing them with? Bad knees, bad hips, bad necks, bad elbows, bad wrists, bad spine, because the parents are pushing them so hard. Mm-hmm. Because we put all this money into that kid. Mm-hmm. So everything's like that. Right from sports to school. You better come home with A's. You better come home with A's. You know, I used to tell my kids, you don't need to come home with A's. And if you do, then I know you're not having fun. Okay, because school sucks. I told my kid, I know it sucks, but if you can get yourself and just get done school, just think, if you could do something and just pass it that sucks, wait until you start living your passion and your purpose. My son is 32 years old, and he's one of the top choreographers and dancers in Canada. Live your passion, live your purpose. My other son, Dr. Sage Wolfe, I mean, he teaches the Wolfe Non-Surgical. You know, he became certified when he was 13 years old. There's no limit to what you can do. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too fat. You're not too skinny. You're not too short. You're not too tall. You're not nothing. Don't listen to the world. Okay, the world is always going to rule, school, and fool you, okay? Even your family will be jealous of you if you break away from the herd. They'll try to pull you back down. And the reality is people go, you know, well, he thinks he's so good, that Dr. Wolfe. No, I don't. But the reality is guess what? If I have to go somewhere that's low vibrational, then if I stay there too long, to get along, I got to come down and you got to come up. That's too much. That's too much. It's too much. I'm not an elevator. Okay, I'm going up, baby. So I'm going to go where I can stay up. So you need to protect your frequency. You need to protect your vibration. That's what it's all about. I mean, listen to me. I guarantee you that, let me see, 8 or 9 people here have a cabinet full of drugs in their house. Cabinet full of drugs. And those drugs, you know, those prescriptions are petroleum. You're eating gasoline. You're eating gasoline. Yeah, think about it. And you know what? All drugs are telling your body to shut up. Is that a nice relationship? This is why you limp. This is why you have a cane. Then you have a walker. Then you have a wheelchair. And understand something. When I was 8 years old, I only could remember my great-grandfather with a cane. The guy was 98 years old, okay? And he was a farmer, and he worked himself to the bone. Now you see canes all over. Okay, you know what? You see people walking in the gym and they're limping to go work out. I mean, what is that? That's a moronic belief. You know, that's scar tissue, crystallization, and already joint damage, but they're going to go in there because I'm going to work through the pain. Understand something. People don't think very well. You tell me that in the last 20 years you haven't seen canes go up 100 times.
The last year.
The canes, okay? The walkers, the wheelchairs. And understand something. This is the evil entity, okay, that gets the psycho-rich, because there's a very few families that have controlled all the money since the beginning of time when money was started. They're the same families. Thousands and thousands of years ago are the same families today that are poisoning us. There's not a lot of them, and you know, they even attack each other, but when it comes to us, they come together and go, look at, hey, you know what, let's poison the morons. I mean, we put the corner stores up, we put the alcohol up, you know, we put the vaping stores up, okay? I mean, you know, and this is called the period of the harvest. And this happens, if you take a look, everything is cyclical. Why don't you go back through history? Okay, at least, you know, if you want to go back a long ways, you're going to find out that the mask used to be made out of cast iron. Just think how hard that would have been on your neck. But it would have brought a lot more business into my clinic, but yeah. But the reality is now they're not cast iron. They're just plastic fibers that will go into your lungs and poison you. Yeah. So understand, humans are not really intelligent. They could be if they had intelligent beliefs. But when you've got low vibrational beliefs, you're going to do the most stupid ass things. Okay? And I'm not calling you stupid. I'm telling you that the brain is 90% subconscious, only 10% conscious. And if you were to remind yourself that you were breathing, you'd be in a conscious moment. But most of you don't even know you're breathing, and that's why you breathe so shallow. And you breathe so shallow because you're so fearful. I'm always connecting to my breath, always doing a 6-second, 7-second out breath. I'm always walking around with a smile, and if you don't see one on my face, it's in here. I don't care what happens today, what bomb goes off, what tragedy happens. I am not bringing my vibration down for anyone. I will not bring my vibration down for my kids, my partner, or for anyone. I am not going to buy into your suffering or to the world's suffering. And if we were all to opt into that and say we weren't going to do it anymore, it would be over. We would not have to go through the same thing, but that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Very few people are actually going to do this. Why? Because you're all scared you're going to get rejected. And the problem is guess what? You all need love so desperately until you know how to love yourself. Okay, how many grandmothers go, I live for my grandchildren? How many mothers go, I live for my children? And then how many people are sick and they're going, I just want to live to see my granddaughter graduate. You know, this is the stuff I hear all the time. And I'm like, really? Are you like out of your skull? So what turns you on? This place turns me on. I wouldn't want planet Earth to be anything else. And it's not going to be anyway, so I might as well really love it because it's not going to change. So it's a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. But for most people, it's just life-threatening, isn't it? Right? And we're just trying to get through the day. Well, guess what? If I had your mind, which is a land mind, I'd feel the same way. But guess what? It doesn't matter. I said I am going to be a Braveheart. I'm going to go around the world and teach this. And I also understand that only 1% of 1% of the population is going to buy into my BS. Okay? Because guess what? Everybody takes things personal because you actually believe that your beliefs that you have are your beliefs. But they're not. Whether you believe this or not, Kimberly, the beliefs that you run your life with are the beliefs that you got from 0 to 7. And that's why your life becomes a shit show and you can't have answers. Because nobody's willing to do the work. I'm telling you, in this whole life coach camp, Kimberly, you come on and you be honest by the 3rd day and you're going to go, holy shit, I cannot believe this. He has turned my life already around. And I'll say, no, I haven't. I just held the line for you. All I did is we went in and got rid of the armor, okay? And we just brought up your frequency and we said it was okay for you to love yourself. And you know what? And then you need to have people to stop looking at you like some large nipple that they're sucking off of you. And you know what? And you need to stop sucking off of other people. We need to denipple you from other people because you don't need love from other people. So we need this huge denippler for all of you. Okay? And that's the truth. That's the truth. Tell me that you don't get lonely and you don't feel loved. You know what? You've got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared for your family to not eat right or think right, which means they're not going to be there always to love you. They're not going to keep doing things. And if you don't believe me, ask anybody here that's a couple, anybody. After no more than 2 years, okay, everything changes. We're trying to see what we can do to fill up our life and make it more exciting, or shit, I want to go find somebody new. And the reality is because we've never learned how to unconditionally love ourselves. We're walking around limping in our heart because love is a self-serve job. And I never have to fill up my heart. It just stays full all the time. I am the light of my life. You're not the light of my life. You're not the light of my life. Lori, my partner, is not the light of my life. I am the light of my life, and she's going right now. She didn't at the beginning. When we first started going out together, she didn't understand what I wanted to be or become. She thought it was a Looney Tune thing, that I was going to be the light of my life. She thought she was supposed to be the light of my life. And I said, listen, honey, guess what? You're off the hook. Holy shit. She goes, oh, wow. Oh, that's good. But that took like 6 months. And I'm going, no. Don't think you got to act like every other woman out there. Don't be trying to fill up my heart. Just fill up your own heart. Look after yourself. Really? This is a man telling me this? I go, yeah, I need a very powerful woman. I need a powerful woman that's going to put herself first, because if you don't, I'll run you over like a truck. Because I was taught to disrespect women, and I need you to make me to respect you. But I can't respect you if you don't respect yourself, honey. And then she says, well, I'd like to move in with you after a few months. And I said, you're not moving in with me. If you do, I'll destroy you. Let me see you unconditionally love yourself and hold the line and don't put me first anymore. And then she got it. She realized, holy shit, that's right. That's my God-given right to love myself first and foremost, not you, Daryl. And I'm going, yeah, now you got it. This is the only way we're going to make it. Okay, so we've been together now for 10 years, and it feels like yesterday, because we don't fight. There's nothing to fight about. We're two spirit beings coming together and going, hey, what do you want to do that's totally outrageous and crazy that nobody else could even understand today? And that's the only way I want to be here. I don't want your approval. If I were to have the majority of the population's approval on the things I do, I would not want to be on this planet. And that's why you don't want to be on this planet. You don't need anybody's approval. If you don't have anybody's approval, but you feel excited and a little bit scared, then you're on your right track. But not fearful. I don't have any fear. Because guess what? I do believe that I'm an eternal spirit. And I'm not out there trying to kill myself. I look after this body. But I'm not going to bow down to anybody. Nobody is an authority over me. Nobody. Nobody ever will be. And when you get to that point, you'll find out that you will find your roar and you will have the life that you always dreamed. And that's how it works. But you're all just shitting bricks because you're scared. Oh. And that's okay, because guess what? I used to be scared too. But guess what? Start doing outrageous things. Start saying things and talking as if you totally unconditionally love yourself and have this imagination that you're totally standing in your power and you don't need anybody's love, okay, except your own, okay? But at the same time, remember something. If that's true and you buy into unconditional love, you're not going to hurt another person. But the people that are closest to you are going to be awful shocked because you had agreements with them. You fill up my heart, I'll fill up your heart. You push my pain button when I want you to reinforce that life sucks. Well, that's what relationships do, don't they? Oh, like your relationships are so good. I can tell you right now, if you've been together for 10 years, you've had the same arguments. If you've been together for 50 years, you've had the same arguments with your husband or your wife. And I don't ever have the same argument with Lori. We don't have an argument. Because the reality is we are two spirit beings, and I tell her that. We are two spirit beings, and we're on a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure called planet Earth. And guess what? Every corporation and every system's job is to try to kill us, okay, and take us one piece at a time. And we can rock it, and all we got to do is stand in our power. And anything we want, we can have. We can have it. Anything we want, we can have it here. But when you go in with the attitude that you've got poverty consciousness, money's hard to make, love is hard to get, life is about suffering, okay? There's some guy with a beard that's looking down on us, judging us, okay? Not sure if I'm going to heaven or hell. Okay, if you got to go for all that stuff, then you were limping before you even got here. And that's it. So now you're going to say, well, I'm pretty crazy. Yeah, but guess what? I'm going to make sure that I don't have the wrong people coming to my courses. I'm going to make sure I don't have the wrong people coming into my clinic. Because it's not how much money I make and how many people come to us. It's who comes to us. I already know it's only 1% of 1% of the population, maybe, if I'm lucky, that even want to have anything to do with me. Because you're going to go to somewhere that's going to make you feel comfortable, that matches your beliefs. And seeing that I don't match the beliefs of the majority, I know they're not coming, so I'm not really brokenhearted. And I would like to have, whatever I do, you know what I want? I'll tell you what I want. I want to do it right. I don't want followers. I don't want patience. I want patience with my patients and help them to learn that they need to become their own doctor. Nobody gets taught by me unless they understand that they're going out to train people. I will not keep a doctorate, anybody that even goes and gets our doctorate, I will not keep them in our program unless they're giving everything they got to their patients and not holding back. What does every natural health practitioner do? Hold back information. What does every medical doctor do? Hold back information. Because to keep the power over people, because guess what? Everybody is scared they're going to lose money. It doesn't matter how much money people make, they have poverty consciousness. Oh my God, like we're going to run out of sick people. Are you like out of your skull? 86% of the population has 1, 2, or 3 autoimmune diseases. I think we got more business than we need. But the problem is, most of those people are none of my business. And do you know why? Because I will never be able to help them. Because if you come in as a self-loather, a self-hater, if you come in believing that you're worthless and that you can't heal and that you don't have the power to change your life, then it doesn't matter how much we sell you, how many therapies we do. We will bring you back up. But is it hard to hold somebody up? Your arms are going to get pretty tired after a while. You can't hold people up. Think about all the people in your family, all the friends that you wanted to help and change. How's that working for you? How's that working for you? Okay? And I'm not telling you that you should stop. Okay? All right? And just understand that I care for everyone, but I am not going to, you got to go through life and you got to feel. You got to feel what people are like. You got to feel your way through this life. Don't think it. Feel your way through this life. It's called a gut feeling. Okay? If you didn't know this, but it's a true story. The heart will actually pick up on things and tell you things. It goes to your brain, then goes to your bacteria, and then your bacteria give you that gut feeling. And that's an actual science. So you got to feel your way through life. Now understand, I'm going to feel my way through life, and I'm going to feel you out and observe you. But I'm not going to judge you, and I'm also not going to feel sorry for you or have pity for you. And a lot of people have the whole empathy thing mixed up with sympathetic. And sympathetic is pity. And most people go, you know what? What does they say? I'm an empathic. And I go, oh God, please. Because what people think is an empathic is somebody that feels and then actually takes on the suffering. That's not true. An empathic is somebody that feels, and then if you feel someone, if I feel you, I know that, okay, I'm observing and I feel what's going on with you. Then I can go, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to work with your beliefs. I need to work with your situation on a physical and emotional level. And that's what it's about. Do you actually believe that when you are hurting and suffering because someone else is suffering, do you think that helps them? Then why are you doing it? There's not a person in here that doesn't do it because you're programmed to do it. And if you stop suffering for your family, you're going to get in big trouble. Big trouble. And I got in huge trouble years ago. Remember, I've been at this for a long time, and I was in huge trouble a long time, let me tell you. I was an arrogant, heartless, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And now I'm not anymore. Now my family looks at me and goes, you know what? Call Dad when you need it to happen. Okay? My friends call me when they need it to happen. Okay? And they know not to call me if they're looking for what? Sympathy. Because that smells. You can smell it coming. So that's the way it's got to be. And that's the only way life is going to change for anyone. But good luck. Because the longer you've been with somebody in a relationship, if the relationship was built on you filling up their heart and them filling up your heart, you go ahead and try to change and find out the crapshoot that you're going to be in. Man, you should see it. Mostly, okay, so let's say for every 7 women, there might be 3 guys come take my course. So usually it's women that come here. When they go back home, holy moly, okay? That is, the guy will first say, oh yeah, go find yourself, sweetie. And then when they come home, it's like, oh my God. So understand that. You got to get that. Yeah. So here we are, limping along. Who's got a question? Anybody? Really? I guess we're done then. What?
I got Jean, who asked a question earlier. She said, or he said, I drank kerosene when I was about 4 years old. After that, I couldn't sleep. I was in pain all the time, and it never stopped.
Well, actually, it probably wasn't the kerosene. The kerosene is toxic, okay? But the reality is that there probably was a lot of nervous stress. I mean, think about it. Almost all of us feared our parents, and you shouldn't fear your parents. That's not really called unconditional love. So he's probably under a lot of stress. I remember I used to bang my head to go to sleep. So if I was banging my head to go to sleep, I wouldn't remember that. But if I drank kerosene and it really made me sick after that, that would be the tipping point, right? You need to understand something. Everybody here, whatever illness you have, if you stopped terrorizing yourself, that's 90% of your illness, or maybe even 95% of your illness. The physical illness is easy to turn around. It's the emotional part that isn't. You know, just say this. We could have everybody here have the same illness, and you'll all heal at different times. And you will heal depending on how much you believe you can heal and how many beliefs that are positive and not negative. Because the reality is this: a lot of you, and I mean a lot of you, not you, but a lot of people, the majority of the population, you have to understand that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are disease causing. That was a study done. 70 to 90% of your thoughts are disease causing, so you know you're lucky you're even walking. So the reality is this: why don't you just take a look at tomorrow and be an observer and look at what you think throughout the day. Look at what you think. I don't have one negative thought throughout the day. Not one negative thought. Okay? I focus on what I want in my life, you know, and I make this comparison all the time. He doesn't. Gene, you don't do it. You drank kerosene, big deal, man. You should see the stuff I drank when I was younger and what I've done. You know, if I told you half the stuff I did when I was younger, right through my teens and into my 20s, you know, you'd all run out of here and never come back. So the reality is this, that, you know, it's what you do here. It's what you do here. This is everything. You know, they can tell you got 2 days to live, you've got cancer, stage 4, but if you are willing to unconditionally love yourself and just be able to erase and replace right away those negative beliefs about yourself. I mean, go home, take your clothes off, take a good look at what you've created. All right? And then take a look around in your house. Take a look at your job. Take a look at your life. This is what you created. Your beliefs created everything about you. Physically, emotionally, who you're with, how it's going down, the conversations you have. It's all about you. You know, you are the writer. You're the writer of your story. So no more complaining about anyone. You know, you know, if you're going to go play Monopoly, don't sit there and complain about the rules. If you're going to come down to planet Earth, don't complain about the rules. They're not going to change. But you could change. You can be happy at any point if you want. And you truly could. You know, and then you're going to say, well, Dr. Wolfe, I really want to take your course, but it's really true. I don't have any money in my bank. Well, of course you don't. And I can't manifest it right. Well, of course you can't. Because you got to do something 10,000 times to actually make it a dominant thought. But you only have to do it 1,000 times if you had passion and purpose. If I could go and put a new chip in your head that said, I have unconditional love for myself, I'm very powerful, and I can do anything I want in this world, you would have money in the bank very fast. That's it. That's it. That's the reality. But you got to remember, these psycho rich, they strategize everything. They strategize everything. You know, they can only control things up to a point. And they can't control me. And how much money do I really need? The money I'm making is all going back into my business. I just spent $175,000 on the world's most powerful app called Braveheart. It's coming out in Christmas time. It's going to be gifted to everybody. And most 80% of it is all free. So listen, your imagination is everything. Image creates thought. Thought creates what? Emotion. Emotion creates frequency. Frequency dumps the chemicals and hormones that decides whether you're going to have a hell trip or a pleasure trip. That's it. That's it. You don't want to hear it. You want somebody to come and save you. You want somebody to come and fix you because you don't want to do the work. And it is work. God, your mind, your brain is 90% your subconscious. So I'm not going to tell you it's not work, but it's not work. It's called loving yourself. How many people here would go home, okay? How many people here would go home and in the morning, they would look in a mirror and they would do the Braveheart oath 10 times out loud in the morning first thing, and 10 times out loud at the end of the night? How many people here would sit down with if you were living with your daughter, or if you're living with your son, or if you're a couple, how many people here for 33 days would sit down and they would face each other? So one person's sitting with their legs open, the other one's sitting in the middle with their legs on top. They come together, they put their arms around. How many people will do 10 minutes a day, look in the eyes of the other person? That person, it could be a friend, could be a relative, doesn't matter. How many people will do that for 10 minutes for 33 days? You'll change your whole life. Your bank account will change. Where you live will change. Your job will change into something else. Everything will change about you. The diseases that means you're not at ease, out of alignment, will fade away. You are where you are, what you're wearing, what you're talking about, and what you're doing because of the beliefs you have. That's it. And you're not supposed to know that. If everybody walked around with a slight smile on their face and only focused on what they want, we wouldn't have to go through another COVID thing in January. But it's going to come because everybody does what? Well, they're going to stress out, really stress out, because we're heading into a depression. No, we're not. I'm not going to be in a depression. I made this deal, and people are going to go, well, it's all about the money with him. No, I put people first. Thank you very much. So get that off the table. But I will quadruple my business this year. Quadruple the size of it. Why? Because I have an imagination, and I know I deserve it. Okay, and that's the other thing. If you have belief systems that you're not deserving of things because there's a guy up there looking at you and you've been a bad girl or a bad boy or something like that, you're never going to get it. Because you might want it, but you're not going to allow it because you don't deserve it. So if you're wondering why you're not getting things, you have non-deserving beliefs. So are we done complaining? I just hope we're done complaining and explaining why we can't get sick, why we can't get well. And then most of you think you drink water, but you don't. I've drank 4 quarts of structured water or juices today so far. I will drink another 2 quarts before the end of the day. Do you understand? Most of you have only drank 3 glasses of water, so don't lie. Okay, so no, you'll walk around with your jug, and you know what? Most people walk around with a jug of water, and guess what? That's good enough. You see how I'm walking? Look at this. Walk around with your water, okay? Just long as I walk around. You're so dehydrated, sweetheart. Holy crap! And then, so don't give me the crap. You know, your face tells it all. You know, you're dehydrated like crazy.
You're saying I'm dehydrated?
Yeah, you are. So if it's not the water, it's her mind.
I'm not dehydrated.
Okay, not dehydrated that you're perishing, but you don't get enough water. People don't understand. You see these lights? How many are in here? That's blue light. Understand, blue light will dehydrate the body. So you're on your phone, you're on your phone, you're on the TV, you're on the computer, the lighting. How about the 3G, 4G, or 5G even? Okay? So understand something. We have to drink a lot of water, and it's got to be structured. What kind of water is that?
It's actually reverse osmosis.
Okay, good. So that's great. Reverse osmosis cannot be digested.
Reverse osmosis.
It cannot go into the cells. Reverse osmosis does not exist in nature. You could take reverse osmosis, but then you got to structure it.
I know the structure.
Filtered water.
No, filtered water is not structured water. Structured water comes from rain, waterfalls, and fast-moving rivers. Filtered water is filtered water. Understand something. What's more important, to get rid of the chemicals and the bacteria or to structure the water? Structure the water. Once you structure the water, even if there's bacteria in it or chemicals, it can't harm the human body. Did you know that? That's science. So structuring is more important. Reverse osmosis takes too much energy for the body to actually structure it to get it into your cells.
Yeah, but I don't just drink water. I do.
I'm not picking on you. We're just
No, I'm just
talking.
saying,
This is
I
you
drink
said
other
you said
things.
reverse osmosis.
You
So
asked me,
I'm going to
yeah.
let you know that reverse osmosis cannot hydrate into the cells.
But I
This-
drink other things that can hydrate other than that.
I get it.
Because I don't have that.
And I think it's wonderful. But understand
That's
something.
how I know I'm not dehydrated. Because
Okay,
my
then
body
what?
tells
Okay,
me.
okay. Do you want me to? Can we do this with just talking and not picking on you?
No, I'm not. No. it's-
Okay, the bags
it's
under your
explain.
eyes are showing it.
That's a
This is
different
your
reason.
kidneys.
Exactly. I'm overworking my kidneys, but not because of lack of water.
Okay, but understand if
Because
you're,
of
oh,
stress.
1 second. Did I say that? Did everybody get me? I said if you're drinking enough water, then you're stressing yourself out too much.
No, it works the other way around.
Okay, so now know this. So when you stress yourself out, your adrenals sit on top of your kidneys. So when your adrenals are dumping out all of this cortisol and adrenaline, guess what? The kidneys are getting hit with it. And that's where the dehydration, because that stuff causes inflammation in your kidneys. So that's where your dehydration can also come from.
My dehydration doesn't come from that.
Well, you just
I
said
can
it came
tell-
from stress.
Yes, but not. It's actually an emotional download that I'm getting.
I understand,
And-
but hold on.
And this is
Okay.
My weak organ is actually my kidney.
I get it,
So
but
all the
love,
stress
hold
comes
on a
from-
second.
Yeah.
I just said, so the emotions are causing you stress. The stress
No.
are triggering
No.
the adrenals.
The emotions are not causing the stress. The
Okay.
outside experiences are causing the stress,
Okay.
which are causing emotions in my body, which are targeting my.
Okay, well, that's
weak
the same
organ.
thing I just said, and I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
but-
1 second here. You know what we can do? You're right. Okay, now, let's move on. So structured water will actually hydrate 1,000% more than any other water. So you could take reverse osmosis, distilled water, filtered water, you got to structure it. Does anybody understand that when the rain comes down, okay, we already know about the chemtrails, the heavy metals, but guess what? Does anybody know you can drink that water? Does anybody know that if it was poisonous, why isn't it damaging the birds, the bees, the flowers, the trees, and all the organisms? They don't get touched because guess what? The frequencies change. So first we change the frequency. And just as we can change the frequency of the water, if we could change the frequency of our mind, then the outside experiences wouldn't be causing the emotional that would actually trigger the adrenals, that would cause the histamine, the adrenaline, the cortisol to create inflammation that would cause dehydration. This is not about being right or wrong. This is about trying to help each other. When I go to talk, I talk like this. I move very quickly. And understand something, never take anything personal. It's very important that you don't take things personal. I came here, I charge nothing for this. I am not in a bad mood. I'm going to give you the truth. If you can do your research and then come to me and then challenge me after you research, I think that's really fine. But the reality is try not to let your mind react and attack. I will not have another react and attack during this lecture.
You feel that way?
No, hold on. You did not, your mind did. I said the same thing that you said. Exactly. Okay? And go back and listen to this when you get home. And then this isn't to prove a point. I'm trying to tell you here. I want you to get this in the most loving way. Your subconscious is programmed, and it wasn't programmed by you. Your subconscious will defend any prominent, dominant belief, and it will make you and the other person go like this. It is not about me and her. It's about the world right now. Somebody has a certain religion. Somebody eats a certain food. Somebody dresses a certain way. Somebody talks everybody feels they're being challenged. What if we actually came together and we actually meant well by each other? I don't want to win. I just want happy, healthy, that's it. And that's all I want for people. The facts is that I just want people to do their research. Distilled water will suck the life out of you. It's too hard. Okay? That came from Norman Walker. Norman Walker was really big in distillation. But remember something, when Norman Walker was doing distilled water, he was also doing what? He was doing 12 quarts of juices a week. Also, there was no blue light. There was no 1G, 3G, 4G, 5G. There was no GMOs. There was no glyphosate. There was no gluten problems. There was no problems at all. Remember something. You go back 60 to 70 years, and the only thing that you were detoxifying from was waste. Now we're detoxifying from heavy metal, blue light poisoning, electromagnetic poisoning, okay? And guess what? The government, okay, and the corporations have harnessed everything that we watch and read to create fear, false evidence appearing real, to, guess what? Create experiences that to trigger our adrenals, okay, to keep on dripping adrenaline and cortisol into our body to create dehydration, to create inflammation. Inflammation means inflame. That means every time that you stress out, you're like putting yourself on the barbecue. That's why you get stiff. That's why you're not flexible. That's why your muscles hurt. That's why your joints don't, they're not there anymore. That's why when we're older, we don't lose weight, we lose muscle, because you're burning up your muscle for the amino acids because you've got too much stress. And that stress with the adrenaline. So your amino acids are used to actually try to power up some energy against the inflammation. And remember something, everything's inflammation. There is no such thing as cancer. There's only stage 4 inflammation. And understand something, whenever they test someone, because let's go to the extreme of inflammation, whenever they test someone, they will get them to drink what? Radiated white sugar. So when you drink that, the white sugar is white sugar, not nature's sugars, but white sugar has a right spin, nature's sugar have a left spin, and they go directly into the cancer cell. So then they go into the cancer cell to light it up. And guess what? This is the part I really love. You might want to know this one. This is really wonderful. So now we've taken somebody from stage 1 right up to stage 3 or 4 with the white sugar and the radiation. Now we gave them stage 4 cancer when they didn't have it. But you just gave it to them with the radiation and the sugar. And nobody even knows that just went down. The majority of the population don't even know this. So they tested you to find out where you're at, and they just blew the sucker up. And you also know before you even, on your way there, you were stressing out like crazy because you wanted it to be a really good answer and not a negative one like, hey, you've got stage 3 or stage 2 or stage 4 cancer. And there is no cancer, it's just inflammation. So how do you get rid of inflammation? You find calm, you find peace. You don't struggle with the world. Let the world just go struggle with itself. You got to understand something. There's no fixing the world because the world's not broken. It's the systems that are in the world, and the systems are none of your business. The only system that should be your business, okay, is the solar system and your digestive system. Those two things. Because that's where we came from. And this is what we need to look after, that 32-foot digestive tract from your mouth to your anus. That's the most important highway in your life. So it's how you digest, assimilate, eliminate waste. That's the most important thing, and how you react to everything. See how fast you can diffuse an argument. See if you can not get into the argument. See if you can let the other person win. Let them win. You win. And understand something. If you're having the same argument with somebody more than once, then that person is not going to let go. They're going to dig their heels in because we've got to be right. And I don't want to be right. Let's be happy. And understand, always seek happiness. Seek happiness. That is the most important thing. And remember something, you don't do anything in your life except for happiness. We've got people that will actually join the armed forces to go across and go to another country and hurt people because they think it's going to make them happy. Do you understand? We're kind of messed up here. We're kind of messed up. So the only happiness is going inside, connecting to your breath, slight smile, and saying, I'm going to make a list of the things that I want in my life. And you know what? The things that I let go when I was a teenager, I'm going back there, and I'm going to grab those things, and I'm going to have them. Age has nothing to do with it. Yes, T.
I got one more question from
somebody
online. Alexander, he wants to know, I have this pain on my upper back. I can't get rid of it even through physical therapy. And it gives me migraines.
Ask him where he lives.
He lives in Florida.
Then tell him to come here and I'll go online and I'll get rid of it in 15 minutes for free. Done. So get the drive here. I'm here for 15 days and I'll do it for free. So guess what? I'm either going to make myself into an idiot or I'm going to show you that I know what I'm talking about. She had a big fibroid on her and I got rid of it in 8 minutes actually last night. And I will do a couple of people here to prove it. That guess what? You want to be powerful? Live your dreams. I'm living mine. I'm the only person that has a money-back guarantee for treatments, trainings, and courses that I know of in the whole web on the web. So get it. So you can say I'm cocky, but guess what? I'm trying to tell the world there's a better way. I'm trying to tell you this. You got a knee problem, you're limping around, you got a hip problem, you got a spine problem. It usually takes us a half an hour to totally reverse it. People that come to us with canes, usually the first treatment. So you can take it or leave it. The reality is don't get too invested in your beliefs, because are they really yours? Because I'll tell you something, I had to go in there and get rid of 95% of everything that I ever was taught. My parents did the best for me that they could, and I had to get rid of at least 80% of everything they taught me. But the 20% I held on to, and guess what? If they hear me right now or they can feel me, they'll be proud of me. Because it killed them. They were both dead before 55 of cancer. Not dead, they passed on. They gave up their body. Okay, so understand that. So you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When I hold the line here, I'm doing it because I care for you. Not because I need to be right. But understand, you are coming up against, not against me, you're coming up against what? 47 years I've been in business. And understand something, I've been in the trenches. My first business was the Wolfe Clinic. It was in the top 100,000 of all the websites in the world. And do you know what it was? A cancer clinic. So understand something, I put myself right in it. I know it. And guess what? If I'm talking about something like this, what kind of money do you think I make on this? And this thing will last for life.
How often do you have to clean it? I bought one. I love it.
Well, okay, what you need to do to clean it is just put it in the top rack of the dishwasher. Or you can just let it sit in, you can let it sit in vinegar, okay? And then just run hot water through it. Like hot water, in between warm and hot, the pressure, that's about it, okay? You know, you can run, okay, so what can you do with this? Just so you believe me.
Like, do you sometimes, when you're out and about, do you use it and just run it through it once? Just, that's better than nothing? Or
Run it through what once? I don't, look at, do you actually think I run it through twice? I just go under the tap and I drink.
And you drink?
No, I got too much to do.
Okay.
I got to hack everything. I mean, try to just watch what I do in the following just 2 weeks.
I make big jugs.
Yeah, well, guess what? You make big jugs and then what?
Of glass.
They're glass. That's right. Because structured water, right now we've been testing it every year, and it's been 11 years, and the structuring held.
Yeah.
It's been 11 years. But you can't let it be in the sunlight. Sunlight will degrade it. Yes, love?
Before he asking the question, you was saying something about you can grab those dreams when you was a teenager.
Yes.
How?
You go back and get them. Well, the only way you can go back and get your dreams when you were a teenager is you got to rewrite your story. Are you willing to rewrite your story? Remember something. Every one of you have a story. And most of you, and please don't get this wrong. I was there, and I'm not telling you I'm not there at all. I'm with you. I'm in the muck too. Most of you are telling a horror story every day. How you're not enough. How life isn't fair. Well, life is fair. And there's more than enough. And so stop telling the story. Right? Yeah. Stop telling the same story. Stop telling yourself how he didn't love you properly. Okay? Yeah. That's what I'm getting from you. Okay? All right? And he probably didn't. And you know why? Because you didn't love yourself properly, so you got to marry someone or be with someone that wouldn't love you properly. You only get what you are. Your vibration is going to be a magnet to whatever's out there, okay? You know, do you think I'm going to magnetize to a woman that's an alcoholic? No, but there'll be a lot of men that would marry or be with an alcoholic woman, okay, because they want the trauma, okay, or they want to fix someone. I mean, listen, I was married to a woman of 23 years that almost killed me. But the reality is when I was younger, I said I want to marry the most prettiest woman and I want to save her. Well, guess what? I got the prettiest woman and it almost killed me. And the reality is I couldn't save her. And that was the lesson, that I cannot save anyone. I cannot save anyone. I can go in and change myself and be the light. That's it. You got to be the light for yourself. And then guess what? Bring up your vibration, girl. Your whole life will change. Okay? Keep thinking nobody loves me. Well, maybe that's true, but guess what? What if you were to totally love yourself? What if you were to totally love yourself from this moment? What if you were to walk out of here going, I'm the sexiest girl in town, and you were to put your chin up and put a smile on your face, and you were to walk like that? My God, you'd turn me on, and you'd turn everybody else on. And that's all you had to do. You got to walk it. You got to talk it. You got to live it. So people go, oh, look at, he's so cocky, he's arrogant. Really? No, I'm just trying to live the most powerful life that I can while everybody is self-loathing. Thank you very much. And I'm not going to change. If it means that everybody goes against me, I'll just stop lecturing. I'm not going to change who I am. I love this. If you want to come and share my time with me, fine. But don't think I'm going to change. It's not happening. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to majority rules. I am never going back. There is no government official, there is no policeman, no military, there is nobody that will ever have power over me again. Nobody. And I don't mean it in an angry way. I'm trying to tell you that guess what? We can all have this. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to act like this, I'm going to be a trauma king. I'm going to exaggerate everything and hope that I can crack the coconut in 1 out of 1,000 people. And they go, wow, I want that too. And that's all I want. So you know what? If I pissed you off today, don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Because I know I'm going to piss you off. Did he pick on me? Did he? Check with someone. Maybe they could tell you. Okay, that's what you should do. And then don't come back. You got to understand that. It's not going to offend me. But is it easy to offend people today? Are you like out of your skull? You just have to breathe the wrong way and they're offended. Everybody's terrorized. Everybody's fearful. But I'm not the guy, you know? I mean, if you all got together right now and said, you can leave now, I'd say, fine, good. I'm off the hook, baby. Because I'm going to go where I'm wanted. And you're not wanted everywhere, Daryl. I get it. And I'm not going to go everywhere. And I don't want everyone. I only want people that want an exceptional life and believe that they don't have to end it wrong. You know, you do understand that the majority of the population of this lecture here, the last 15 and 20 years is going to be frickin' miserable. They're going to suffer. You don't have a whole row of Depends in Costco because I'm wrong. You don't have nursing homes coming up by the dozens everywhere. You don't have drugs, okay? Almost all drugs quadrupled in sales in the last 2 years. Everything is programming. This is not me attacking. This is me telling the odd person that there's something better. There's something better. So I'm going to raise my voice, then I'm going to soften it, then I'm going to go blah, 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 and that's how we do it. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. It's either somebody says, I knew there was something better, or they're down on their knees and they're going, this isn't working. This isn't working. And understand something. Does everybody know that we empowered the government by wearing those masks for 2 years? Oh, yeah. We empowered those psychos. Do you actually, all they're doing is going, yep, All we got to do is just sit back and wait for Thanksgiving, wait for Christmas, wait for New Year's, and guess what? They will show us